So if you're a man and you're going through a divorce and a custody battle, there's three things that are really important to help you know and understand that are going to help you win your case, navigate through the courtroom, and empower yourself in a system that is oftentimes there to disable you. We're going to cover these really quick, but as you're going to see when you actually dive into these things, there's a lot that could be learned. So let's start off with this first one, is understanding the laws in your state and county. And this is really important. This is why I think you guys should talk to lawyers, hire them, even if it's just for consultations. Look on Google, ChatGPT, but you need to understand and be able to argue the laws in your state and county. You're not doing a he said, she said, and this witness is gonna win my case and this and that sort of thing. You need to look at first how custody is determined, how child support is set, all these different things. And then you need examples of how they're argued. And this is why I also say you need to go into the courtroom and watch your judge and see how that judge rules on cases and arguments that are similar to your cases and arguments. If you're angry about her being a liar, her being manipulative, all these different things, you need to understand that there are cases before you that have done this, that have won it, and there's probably just 100 times more that have handled it poorly, and these are the things that you want to avoid. You're going to learn that from one, studying the laws in your state and county, two, finding out who your judge is and watching his cases, and three, interviewing a bunch of different attorneys, hopefully for free. So this next thing we're going to talk about is the process of this all. Courtroom etiquette, how you file motions, all these different things. Each court is going to be different. Each court is going to have its own rules and regulations. And if you're already witnessing your judge, like I said in the first thing, you're going to learn a lot of this stuff, but I really want you to pay attention to it, because when we talk about corruption in the court system, there absolutely is, attorneys and da-da-da. You want an attorney who knows the judge, because it's going to help you in different ways. But the thing is what you got to understand is if you get any of that etiquette wrong, if you file something wrong, if you hire the wrong person, if you get the wrong type of witness, or you prepare your case that's for a protective order, like it's just a custody temporary parenting plan type hearing, you're going to absolutely fail. You're going to piss off the judge, and you're going to basically screw yourself, which is the worst part of it. And actually the worst part of it is that you're going to screw your kids. So you need to take a deep dive in how courtroom etiquette works. The best way to do that is to go visit a courtroom a lot. Watch 10 to 15 cases. It's going to take a couple of days, but as you're waiting 3-6 months or whatever it is for your hearing, you should really be preparing for this. And if you don't, you are almost bound to fail, because there's so many little things that are easy fixes that you're going to overlook. So this last one is a little bit different, and it's to familiarize yourself with social services and really, again, the entire process, but the entire process of how parenting is seen or poor parenting is solved. And I'm saying this not because you're a poor parent, but the other parent, and you're watching this, is probably saying you're a poor parent. So you need to prepare in these ways. You need to understand that CPS and CPS law is very different than just family law. It's almost like that protective order thing. It's very different. You need to understand how CPS works, what they're looking for, and I would try and talk to different CPS or social workers involved in that. And I just want to point out a good thing to know what you need is just come to my groups and look at the call schedule, because we have social workers, CPS workers that come on and talk to you guys about the process, as well as different lawyers and legal assistants and so on. This is so important that you understand that, because if a CPS worker comes to your house and you don't know how to act, you could very easily screw up your custody when it didn't need to be screwed up. I hope that makes sense to you. Now, this goes further when you're dealing with a therapist or somebody who is doing a psych eval. You need to understand how this process works. If they're saying that you're angry or violent, you need to understand how anger management courses work, parenting plans work. And this doesn't mean that it's an admittance of fault or anything like that. It really means that if you're being accused of this and your hearing hasn't happened, I would highly recommend you take whatever anger management courses, just to prove to the courts that you're willing to be proactive, even though you didn't do anything and these things are all made up and they're false claims, that you are willing to do anything to see your kids, be a better parent. See, the problem is that if you don't understand how a social worker works, how a psych eval is given, who's giving you that psych eval, who's interviewing you about it, how these courtroom documents are going to be written up, how a motion is filed, how you speak properly to a judge, or when you do need to speak up and interrupt because something is wrong. If you don't understand how to do these things, you're guaranteed to do them wrong because it's literally a different language. I highly recommend you study these different things because if you don't, I want you to think about this, you could lose custody of your child. That means you will see your child significantly less, sometimes not at all because you screwed up something and it goes to a protective order. And not only your life goes through the trauma of all that, you have a baby mama basically now telling the world that you're a bad father. You have her getting sympathy and reward for it. And the worst part of it is your kids will go through the pain and suffering, the psychological damage, the pain in their heart that is not healed, all because you didn't take measures on something that you could have taken measures on. Stay strong, stay alive, because you're a dad and your kids need you.